I will restrict myself and request Dr. Amol Ambardekar to begin with his presentation. Over to you, Amol.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bede sir. So I hope you guys can see my screen. Uh, so
Yes, yes.
yeah, so I don't want to reiterate what just Dr. Bede sir just said, but yeah, so I passed out in 2002. Then I came to US. I worked on getting my first master's in applied physics. Then I continued doing uh, computer science and got another master's, and then finally did PhD in computer science. And my research was in computer vision. Um, so computer vision is I don't know how many people know about what computer vision actually is. I want this session to be as interactive as possible, so feel free to kind of stop me at any moment. uh, if someone can like monitor the chat session and let me know if there's someone is typing something and I'm missing it, then yeah.
Yeah, I
So
will take the responsibility of looking at the chat session,
okay,
Amol.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so after I finished my PhD, I joined Microsoft, and for almost a year and a half, I worked on a product called Bing Vision. So it is the product was doing object recognition, barcode, QR code tracking, and things like that. So the idea was now defunct Windows Phone was the ship vehicle for that particular service. So it was a back end that we means I used to manage and create the algorithms for it. So if you take a picture of a book, then recognizing what that book title is, and then you can land on uh, where you can buy that book, let's say. Something like that, or CD cover. You take a picture of a CD cover, and then you can go and find where you can buy that CD cover. Things like that. So it was about detecting from images what you're seeing. And so going back to computer vision, so computer vision is a problem of making computers see. So you can think of computer graphics as you have a 3D model of the world or objects, and you want to convert that 3D word or model into something that you can then see it in the 2D fashion. Means convert this 3D word into 2D images. That's what computer graphics is. And now consider that you have to solve the reverse problem. So computer vision is about you have images or set of images or videos, and now you want to create the 3D world out of those images. So it is more difficult problem than computer graphics, because when you have 2D images, you lost one dimension, and recreating that third dimension in a way with noisy data is a difficult task. The other thing being like, even though you have, let's say, 3D world recreated, then finding different things in that 3D world is a problem in itself. So that's a little bit about computer vision. Um, Now, then I continued working a little bit on face recognition tasks. So we had something very similar to face grouping. So once you take pictures, currently I think iPhone and maybe Android also has it. You can automatically uh, like get the groups of people tagged, saying that you can go and see in your album that these people appear more frequently, and those images you can just then tag, saying that okay, this particular face is belongs to, let's say, my wife, or let's say one of your friends or something like that. And then you can just track all the images of that person in your camera roll. So it's about, first of all, detecting the faces, then recognizing the like which faces belong to which people in a way, and then grouping them or clustering them in clusters, so that they can be presented to you in a nice way. So I worked on that problem a little bit, and for last almost, I would say, more than 6 years now, I've been working on HoloLens. First of all, I worked on. So, how many of you, maybe, I don't know if there is a raise your hand kind of a thing on the on this particular Google Meet. How many of you know about HoloLens? What HoloLens is? Uh, like, anyone? Yes, no, or you can type maybe.
Yeah. Anyone knows about the HoloLens? Just type yes or no in the chat box,
Yeah,
students.
because
Yes, sir. I have watched a video.
okay, okay. So at least one person knows about it. Okay. So before going into HoloLens, let me just talk a little bit about what HoloLens is trying to do, right? HoloLens is a augmented reality product. So you wear some glasses on your in front of your eyes, and the idea is to augment your reality. So whatever you are seeing through the glasses, you augment it in certain ways such that you get more information about the world than what you are seeing through those glasses. uh, it's a little bit different than virtual reality. In virtual reality, when you put on the glasses, you don't really see the real world. So in a sense, augmented reality is a little more difficult, in that you always have a sense of where you are, and you want to then know what is your surroundings, and knowing those surroundings help you then interact interact with those surroundings in a meaningful way. And it's a little bit hard to explain, and that's why I have added some videos, and you guys can, like, means Nimbakar madam can actually show those videos a little later, and you can see what I'm talking about. And lately I've been working on Azure object anchors problem, which is kind of going a little more deep into object detection and pose estimation problem. So we recently released this product, which allows you to anchor your holograms with respect to the objects. So what that allows you to do is, you can have a car, let's say, and you can detect that car. And detection is a problem in a sense that you want to know in an image where the car is, but the problem that we are trying to solve is little harder than that. We want to not only detect the car where it is in the image, but we want to know where it is in the 3D world. So we want to estimate the pose of the object, and not only in the image where the object is. So that allows us to do certain things that some of the videos should allude to. Uh, uh, so I think I missed one thing. While I was working on the HoloLens, first of all, I worked on the first DNA chip that went on the HoloLens 2, that allows us to do many of the tasks that we are able to do on HoloLens, like hand tracking, semantic labeling, and eye tracking. So especially I worked on semantic labeling problem and hand tracking problem to allow to detect hands and detect the pose of the hands, and also semantic labeling problem, which allows us to know what is the environment around us. So knowing, for example, when you're looking at the world, knowing where the walls are, where the floor is, where the ceiling is also important, because based on that you know the limits of where you can put holograms. Or if you want to build a game, you know how to put your virtual characters. uh, so let me let, yeah, so I think I covered most of these things. if Nimbarkar madam can go ahead and play these couple of videos, and
Yeah,
I can tell you when to stop because they are a little bit
yeah,
too long.
yeah, yeah.
And what we can do is,
Shall I play the HoloLens first?
yeah, play the HoloLens one first, and
Yeah.
then we can open for Q&A, I think. And
Okay.
I hope if any of what I explained, please let me know, and I can explain it in a little different manner maybe. And feel free to ask questions about whatever you feel like, really, not just about what I explained. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just share the screen. Just a minute. Shall I play it, Amol?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shall I play it?
yeah. Play it, please. Thank you.
Hope you're able to hear. The screen.
Now, these are the smallest and most power-efficient 2K displays in existence. Now, they allow us to dramatically grow immersion while shrinking the size of the displays. But immersion is about more than just the holograms we place in the world. Immersion is also about how you interact with them. HoloLens 2 adapts to you. It adapts to your hands and goes beyond the gestures to give you the satisfaction of direct manipulation, letting you experience what it feels like for the first time to actually touch a hologram. To top it off, HoloLens 2 now also understands precisely where you are looking, enabling us to do things like understanding your intent and adapting the holograms in real time to your eyes. Then using the same cameras, we've enabled Windows Hello, iris-based biometric authentication, the most secure and reliable enterprise-grade solution. We optimized HoloLens 2 for long wear and comfort, keeping with Microsoft's tradition of inclusive design.
Can you skip
we
it to
3D
4
scans
minutes,
the heads
Mark?
of thousands of
Yeah.
people across a wide range of ages,
4
genders,
minutes, right?
and
So,
ethnicities.
Yeah.
And we then use this data to
Yeah,
create
right
a
there.
device that's
Is my hands. Look at this. Full
Good grammar and spelling are important. But
yeah,
if you
just a
want to
minute.
write
Just a
essays
minute.
that inspire,
fully articulated hand tracking. And as I move my hands around, the HoloLens 2 is actually calibrating to my unique hand size. And of course, not only does the HoloLens 2 recognize me and my hands, it also
So
recognizes
please
the
pause
world.
this here. Let me explain a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you're seeing is what exactly she can see through her camera, or like through her HoloLens. This, like, if you're in the audience, you won't be able to see this. So what they have done is they are capturing her, right, through a different camera, and they know the pose of that camera, and then they are projecting whatever she is seeing into that particular video camera which is capturing her from outside, and that's why you can see what she is seeing. But if you are actually wearing the HoloLens, you will be able to see what basically she's seeing. Just that the vantage point is different for us right now than what she's seeing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yes.
Welcome to my mixed reality home. This is the place where I have all the apps and content that I use every day. Let's check some of them out. Now, I've seen many people put on HoloLens for the first time, and the first thing people do when they put on the device is they reach out their hands and try and touch the holograms. And now, you can. Look at the way that the holograms are responding to my hand, almost inviting me to touch it. And in fact, I can just grab this corner to resize it. Or I can rotate it. Or move it. That's right. We are touching holograms. This is an app I've got called Spatial. Let me just put it right there. I've got another app here called Vuforia View. Now, it's a little big, so let me just use 2 hands here to make it smaller, and then rotate it so you can see. There we go. And then let me put it down here in your Spatial, maybe make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that's nice. All right, now let's switch gears and talk about a different kind of application. I've got a browser over there, but it's kind of far away, and I don't really want to walk over there, so let me just call it over with my voice. Follow me. This is a browser that's running Microsoft Teams, which is a tool that we use back home to collaborate. Let me see what the team's been working on. Okay, it looks like they've got a surprise for me in the Playground app. I just have to say the words show surprise. All right, so let me just open up that start menu here, and then place the app, and then launch it. So now we're actually exiting my mixed reality home and going into an immersive experience. But notice that that browser that I had actually followed me in. Now this can actually be really useful when you have things like emails or PDFs that you need to reference while you're doing your work. I don't really want it following me around though while I'm showing you all this cool stuff, so let me just put it over here, and then we'll get back to it later. Welcome to the playground. We spent years exploring and refining interactions for HoloLens 2. And the playground is just a tiny sampling of the many prototypes that we built, tested, and learned from. Our approach is basically to try out as many things as we could and look for the things that stood out. So for example, here I've got 3 sliders. Each of them is controlling this wind farm simulation, but each in a different way, using a different interaction technique. One of the things we tried is this touch slider here. So here I can just stick my finger in the slider and have it go to a particular value to control that wind speed there. It felt okay. We also tried this push slider. So this guy can kind of nudge from side to side, kind of like an abacus, which was interesting. Now, the interaction that really took home the cake, though, was this pinch slider. The way that works is you just pinch it and move it wherever you want. And what we found was that people really like that tactile sensation of their fingers touching as they grabbed and then released. And across the board, for all interactions, the audio and visual feedback as you grab, move, and then release were all really critical for making this experience feel connected. Oh, this is just so satisfying. I can't wait for you all to try this out. All right, now let's move on to a different kind of control, buttons. How do you press buttons on HoloLens 2? Well, you just reach out and press them. Now, one interesting thing that we found about buttons was that the size of the buttons actually impacted the way that people interacted with them. So for example, for the smaller one, most people would use 1 or maybe 2 fingers, but for the larger one, pretty much everyone used their entire hand. And this is kind of interesting when you think about it, because these objects don't really weigh anything. They're just digital things. But despite that, people would treat them like real things, almost as if the bigger one had more weight. I just love the way these move and the sounds they play when I press them. It's great. All right, how about something that uses all 10 fingers? Well, to test that out, we built a piano. So here I can just play a chord, or I can play the keys one at a time. All right, so where's that surprise that the team had for me? Oh, that's right, I had to say those words. Show surprise. Ooh, look at that hummingbird over there, it's gorgeous. I wonder if it will fly to my hand. Yeah, oh wow. This is beautiful. I just love the way that it's following my hand around. I've got to tell the team, they've done a great job.
Yeah, you can pause it now.
And in fact,
Yeah.
I don't even need to use my hand.
Yeah. So, any questions so far?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, Amol. I just want you to. This actually does not exist, right?
no, it
It
does
is
exist.
Oh, no, no. It is making you visualize that the thing is there, but the thing is not there.
Yeah, exactly. But the product exactly exists, and it is
Ah,
actually
yeah.
when you wear
Mm.
it feels magical, like something that you would think that it's not even possible. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and the thing is now let's try to understand like why this problem is difficult. Okay, so whatever you're seeing, right, each of these holograms are all digital entities. They are not in, like, they are not real, right? So however, when she is in the world, uh, all these holograms or these objects are world locked. That means that they don't move when her head is moving, right? So there's a
Mm-hmm.
small projector inside her, inside the HoloLens, that is
Mm-hmm.
continuously projecting on the thin kind of a semi-transparent screen in front of her eyes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so imagine you have an object that is in front of you. As you move your head to the right, if that object needs to stay at the same place, actually the
Mm-hmm.
projection of that thing where the object is needs to move left
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at the same moment. As you are moving your head right, that projection, if that needs to be stay at the same place, the projection at the same moment as you're moving your head needs to move to the left. Okay,
Mm.
so that is the particular thing that we call head tracking. So how that works, right? Let's decode that a little bit. So the
Yeah.
way it works is, you have cameras on HoloLens that are looking outside, and they are
Mm-hmm.
tracking different kind of corners in the world, and they are saying, okay, I need to stabilize my head or know my pose of my head with respect to these different textures and corners in the world. So it knows, the HoloLens knows as you're moving your head, how your head moved, and
Mm-hmm.
in less than a millisecond, or few milliseconds, it makes that determination that your head is moving in this direction. So the projection now needs to move to the left,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And
Barabar.
that determination happens so instantly, so that everything looks word locked. If those things are moving just with you,
Mm.
then they won't look real in a sense, right?
Mm. Correct, correct,
Because they need to be, the objects don't move with you, the objects stay in the world and your
correct.
head, right? So that's where the computer vision comes into play. The other thing that is important is, as your hand is visible to the system, it needs to know like how you are moving your hand or where your fingers are,
Mm.
because that's how the interaction is going to work. Then it needs to know where the wall is, or where the floor is,
Correct.
because if I'm projecting a particular hologram, I don't want that hologram to be half in the wall and half outside, right?
Mm.
So all those things need to be kind of mapped at the same time. But there are other things. If you can play the second video, some of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
applications that we are thinking of, where this can be useful,
yeah,
uh, may be more apparent.
yeah. There were two questions related to this. Just can you just read them in the chat, or should I read
Yeah.
it to you?
Uh,
Nishan.
yeah. Whatever I think Apple does is very similar. I think so. Apple has, I think, AR Core is from Android, and ARKit is from Apple. But both of them don't have currently. It's a phone-based solution. So in a sense,
Okay.
they're trying to do the same thing but with phones.
Yeah.
So you would be able to do similar kind of experience, but through phone. So you're holding the phone. So it doesn't look as real as a HoloLens, because HoloLens is, it's on your head and it's in front of your eyes, so it feels seamless in a sense. And is this similar to
Is
Unity
it similar
framework?
to Unity framework also?
I'm not sure. So Unity, so we use Unity framework to also build our apps. So apps are built using Unity. However, what I just explained is not like Unity is kind of a framework for building apps. It doesn't solve the computer vision problems that I'm talking about, or it doesn't actually
Okay, okay.
provides a way to kind of it's not HoloLens. It's a software tool in a way to build mixed reality apps really.
Okay.
So so you can consider the difference to be kind of a like a programming environment versus actual PC almost.
Oh, oh. Okay. Shall I play the next video?
Yeah, please.
Modern businesses need to constantly innovate, recalibrate, and optimize to stay competitive. Dynamics 365 Guides uses mixed reality to help workers adapt to complex scenarios in daily operations, from training to assembly to service and repair. Step-by-step instructions are easily written on PC, and then holographic parts and icons are simply picked up and placed on the machine where the work happens. Novice and experienced employees can both learn and adapt quickly while doing their tasks. The instructions move with the employees, pointing them to the tools and parts they need, showing them exactly where they need to apply them. And with easy-to-author branching, managers can account for all the variables and changing conditions of their operation, allowing employees to get up to speed faster, follow the right procedures with fewer errors, and more confidence. Managers can also leverage Guides insights to combine the data generated from doing the work with transactional data, driving optimizations and continuous improvement faster than ever before. All of this is connected to the cloud, so instructions are always up to date, allowing your employees and your business to adapt at the speed of change.
Yeah, Amol?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
so
Thank
now I would like to open for maybe Q&A, and I think this second video might have answered the question about what is the difference between maybe augmented reality that is on the phone versus augmented reality that is on HoloLens or like see-through devices, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, feel free to ask questions and don't limit yourself to HoloLens really. Means you have questions about coming to US and doing masters. You have questions about something else. Feel free to ask anything. Yeah.
Yes, students. Any sort of questions you want to ask, Amol? Please be free to ask. You can even turn on your mic and ask regarding anything about your studies. Just like Amol said about going for MS. Any doubts, please ask. Either type it or turn on the mic and ask. Omkar, Mohsin, Sanket, Yash Kilekar, Manjunath, Amit.
Yeah. So I haven't watched the movie. Sorry. But what I would say is, what is the aim of this, right? So the aim is to replace PC that you see, or replace phones eventually. Uh, but that future is maybe 10 years away. Uh, so you can imagine right now, what do we have? We have desktops, we have laptops, we have phones, and all those things are, we have TVs, right? In terms of TV, you have 65-inch TV that is 15 feet away from you. You can have that 65-inch TV converted to 2-inch screen that is 1 inch away from your eyes. So it is way more power efficient in a way. You can replace your TV that way. You can replace your laptop. You can replace your phone, and have everything in such a such a device that is always on and on your head. The problem there is currently it is way too bulky to carry it for a very very long time. And I think as time passes, we will be able to improve upon that. Uh, Currently, this Hololens is especially for enterprise, because the price point is really high. I think one Hololens goes for more than $3,000. So it's still not a consumer device in a way. Consumers can still buy it, I think, but the price point is really a hindrance. What is the yeah? So what is the inspiration for this futuristic work, right? Um, I would say, as I said, right, like all these companies, Microsoft, Google, Apple, everyone, they make a lot of money with their products in a way, right? But they want always to be on lookout for some other things that are coming out, and then don't get obsolete, right? So this is kind of all three companies, Google, Apple, and Microsoft, are dabbling in this field because they think that this is the future. And if you can think about this, the some of the problems that we are trying to solve using HoloLens, if you take them out, they are exactly the same problems that autonomous robots need to solve. So you can see that the extension of some of the work that has been done in a HoloLens group is robotics. So that's where I would say by the time I retire, I will see more and more solutions that are going in robotics. Other than that, one of the other fields that kind of is related to what HoloLens is doing is um, driverless cars, right? So you can have, I think, driverless cars. They are already here in US, where people have solutions and have driven miles and miles without actually touching the steering wheel. Just that there are, I think, legal hurdles, and people need to get used to it, and the technology needs to get maybe way more resilient to one-off errors that you sometimes see. So let me see, how is this different from Google Lens? Uh, so what is Google Lens? Uh, so so I think there was, Google had that product that was uh, yeah, so that Google Glasses, right? So Google Glasses, right? But Google Glasses was not actually augmented reality. It was capturing things, and it was very simplistic. It was not actually augmenting the reality. So as I said, the problem is way more different and difficult when you go into augmented reality. You want holograms to be world locked. So you need to add at least 4 cameras which are looking outside. That makes the overall process bulky. Currently, I would say the one of the competitors that we have is Facebook. Facebook has a virtual reality product which is competitive with respect to Microsoft. But Google Glasses was like, it was a gimmick, and that's why they even closed it down after a while, because the eventually what they want is maybe they are even working on it, just that they haven't disclosed it to us yet. And one of the signs that Google might be working on it is release of Google like AR Core, and even Apple might be working on it. Just that I started working on this project I think around 2014, and like for 2.5 years almost before it got released, I was not allowed to talk about it to anyone. So it was 2016 when we disclosed to the world that we are actually working on this. So this is pretty common that this happens. Yeah, so sir, can you tell me about patent claim procedure? So what do you exactly mean by patent claim procedure? So if you can elaborate a little bit on what you are saying, then. So yeah, so Amit, if you can elaborate a little bit, then I can maybe answer you that question. Yeah. So realize a career in US. I think if you work hard enough and you come here, then yeah, every aspect has prospects. Like yeah, every field always needs someone who is really good at it. So I think yeah, VLSI career good option if you want to come to US. Um, so to elaborate on that a little bit, so even though like my work had been mainly related to, I would say, AI and computer vision, I worked almost 2 or 3 years, something that crossed hardware and software, because I had to kind of design the software part for the hardware. So I created the simulator that was doing what this hardware is supposed to do. So I had to optimize each and every part and come up with the requirements for DNN hardware. So and we were able to develop one of the first DNN chip that went into Hololens to for like doing some of the things that you saw were impossible to be done without that DNN chip. Yeah. Can you fix a car or complex part of cars using HoloLens in 3D world and implement in real world? Yeah. So I think that's a good question. So the answer to that is yes, I think in near future. So that is the hope. So the aim is this like this guides app is able to author, you can author a particular procedure, and then that procedure can be then followed through HoloLens. uh, Currently I would say that it does work for curated examples really well, but overall that authoring process needs to be optimized, needs to be like each and every part of it needs to be uh, worked on really well to make it better. So so to give you an idea, like you can I don't know how many of you had worked on like text editors that were there long time ago, like Lotus and so on, right? So I would say in terms of mixed reality or augmented reality, we are in that realm right now, in Lotus realm. We will have to come close, means we will over time will come to text editors that are like Notepad, and eventually to the Word, right? So it will take a little bit of time. That's why I said that this this is going to take time, but this is a longer term uh, solution to some of the problems that we will be able to solve using augmented reality. Yeah. So
Uh, Amol, just for a few minutes,
Yeah.
can you just let students know once they apply for MS and they go for the place where they get admission, what did you do after reaching the place where you wanted to do MS? Mean, right from when you landed, what problems
Right.
did you face? How did you overcome
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
I, just
Yeah.
share.
Yeah. So I was a little bit fortunate in that regard, right? I have a lot of family in US. My uncle was in US, so I was not. I was landing in US and I had no one.
Okay.
So I had actually not my uncle. Actually, it's my father's uncle, who had been in US for like last more than 40 years. And so I landed his at in Atlanta actually, and
Okay.
stayed with them for a couple of weeks before I went to the actual university. And fortunately, one of my father's cousins used to live in the same city, so I
Okay.
stayed with them for a week before I found my own place. And yeah, but I know like many of the people don't have that luxury of having a lot of relatives all over in US.
Yeah.
I would say generally what happens is you once you get an admission, right? You contact. Generally, there is a Indian Student Association
Yeah.
wherever
Yeah.
you are going,
Yeah.
and then you contact them. And I was part of Indian Student Association, and I know that people used to contact us.
Okay.
And then generally you tell them when you are coming, and
Yeah.
generally they pick you up from the airport. And then gen- most of the cases you can either like decide on where you are going to live beforehand. So for example, let's say you tend to share an apartment. Let's say there are three
Mm.
bedroom apartment,
Mm.
then three of the three people will share it, and there
Mm-hmm.
will be common kitchen in between, and a living room. And then if one of the person is, let's say, graduating, they might have a vacancy for one person. So
Mm-hmm.
if when you reach out to student association, Indian Student Association, they will say that, okay, there is a vacancy here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can talk to these guys and then decide you want to join them. If not, then they will kind of put you up with some of the people for a week or so, and then you
Mm.
will have to hunt for like apartments
Mm-hmm.
uh, around the campus. And generally, you find an apartment in three
Yeah.
four
Okay.
days.
Fine.
It
Fine.
should not be it doesn't happen that you don't find something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and then from there you go. Generally, like for my experience, I would say like things have changed quite a bit since
Mm.
I came here. Like I remember when I came in 2003, it was very hard even to contact back
Mm.
to India.
Mm.
And cell phones were very expensive. It used to cost almost 40 cents per minute to call back to India. Now you
Mm.
have Google Chat, or you have
Yes.
WhatsApp, or do
WhatsApp.
whatever, right? Like
Mm.
it's free for you. It
Yeah.
was not the case at the time. So I used to call like every week during the weekend to my family. So it's way more easier now. Like we never used to get Indian food that time because there were
Mm.
not that
Mm.
many Indians. Over now last almost 18 years, there have been so many Indians in
Mm.
US that you get Indian food almost everywhere, especially
Mm.
in college towns.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so which is a good thing in a sense that you don't feel that you are too far away from India now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And there's one question saying Nishant Kamri. What about fees for living there?
yeah.
Mean
Uh,
expenses.
Expenses, right? So so when I came here, I so there are two things. One is like many of the master's programs if you did really well on your GRE and you had really good kind of academics, then you might get assistantship right away. But
Okay.
many of the master's program tend to not do that and ask you to come without giving you any assistantship for first 6 months. So for the first semester or for the first quarter, you will not get anything. Okay. And if you are ready to take that chance and spend that much money, which might come out to be up to $10,000,
Okay.
then you can find something, either some kind of assistantship or some work around the campus that will pay at least part of that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And the cost of living is different for different cities. So if you are living in a small college town, it can be, if you are sharing an apartment, it can be up to $300 to $400 per month. To
Okay.
if you are living in the New York City, it can be $600 to $1,000 per month.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on where you are in a way. Just like in India, right? Like
Yes.
you're in
Yes.
Ratnagiri versus in Mumbai, right? It
Yeah.
will change tremendously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the
Fine. Fine. Fine.
cost of groceries and stuff is around, I would say, $150 to $200 per month. So that is really constant, irrespective of where you are.
Fine. Fine. Fine.
Any other
Yes.
questions?
Hello, students. Any questions, please? Type it in the chat.
Oh, okay. What is industry's expectations from graduating engineers? Okay. Uh, so so Microsoft actually, um, I have been on a lot of interviews for hiring at different levels of people, and I would say one of the most important thing that we look for, at least at Microsoft, that I know that you should be really clear on basics. You should be okay to admit that if you don't know if you don't know a particular thing, just say that you don't know that part, so that we can move on. And generally, we tend to ask questions that build on top of the answers that you have given, right? So in that case, make sure that you understand the question that is being asked. And I'm going a little bit, I know the question is a little more broad, but I'm going a little bit about how do you actually approach kind of an interview. Then you need to understand specifically what the question is being asked and ask clarifying questions to the interviewer. Because it's important that you understand the question and then formulate your solution. Making certain assumptions without getting the clarification is not a good idea. Now about what are the industry's expectations, right? Like I would say that it depends on the job profile, but uh, generally it is about knowing the basics, and you need to have kind of grit to solve the problem, in a sense. So a little bit different from what you have in the exams, right? So in exams you don't have books to refer to. In real world, when you are solving a problem, you have all the books, all the Google and all the resources available, and still the problem is way too difficult. Even with given books, you might take a very long time to solve it. So having that grit to actually tackle such problems is what is important. Yeah.
Yeah, Bharati sir has joined.
Yeah, I see. How are you, Vinayak?
I'm fine. Now we are both our alumni.
Yeah.
Yeah, any questions, students, please? Project partners,
Yes,
Tagare
yes,
sir.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Project partner.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Uh, yeah, should we go ahead or any more questions? I'll just wait for some 1 or 2 minutes and then we will end up.
Yep. Yeah, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to everyone. Uh,
Uh,
I think if you guys have more questions, I'm happy to answer them. I think Nimbaka madam or Vinayak has my email ID, and
yeah.
yeah, if
Yes.
you can reach out to me if you have more questions, and especially if you are interested in
One question
computer
is there,
science
Amol,
or
for
AI.
you.
What?
Just one question. Why
Yeah.
you landed in Microsoft? Just curious.
Oh,
Mohsin, he is
why?
asking you.
Why I landed in
Mohsin,
Microsoft?
Mohsin. Yes.
Oh, uh, oh, so why I landed in Microsoft? Yeah, when I graduated after my PhD, so I had interviews at Intel, Google, and Microsoft. Okay, and Google told me that they will not tell me who the team I will be working on, like on which team I will be working on. They just gave, like, they just said that I will be I will be hired, and then they will decide, kind of. So I didn't know exactly who the people I will be working with. So it was not clear to me. Uh, and Intel came back to me after I accepted the offer from Microsoft. So that's how I landed at Microsoft, really. Uh, and I exactly knew who I will be working with when I accepted the offer. Yeah. Anything else?
And
Yeah, is
I'll just
Intel?
like to tell one thing. Uh, Means to all the students who are here about Amol, because we were, and you should actually have that determination. So I'll just tell, and then maybe the students can take some things for their future, because exactly you are there where we were before 18 years, if I am not, yes, 19 years before. So Amol and myself, we both were sitting on one bench, and Professor Nimbalkar, she has taught us, Professor Tagare, they have taught us. So idea was that, see, I was, both of us, I was specifically from back middle class family, and my aspiration was to go for a job. But he was quite crystal clear that since third year, he told me that I want to go to US. First thing was clear with him. I still remember, because, and accordingly he prepared for his GRE, for his TOEFL. When I that time, that was a kind of no, IT.com bubble was there, so kind of market was in recession, and we had to struggle to get a job. Placements were quite difficult, and even I searched for job for 1 year. Then fortunately I got a job assignment, and this lecturer in government polytechnic. But I remember he used to come to Mumbai, attended this GRE exam, TOEFL exam, and then he was very so initially he didn't get admission for no, maybe computer engineering, but he took admission to quantum physics. I still remember he did masters in quantum physics, and then again he did a masters in computer science. So see, my friends, this is one good classic example. See, if you are determined, then you run after that like anything. Otherwise, you will not get. You now maybe the person who asked the question why you landed in Microsoft, and Amol answered that he got Google, then Microsoft, and Intel. So yeah, you think that okay, it is coming just like easy on a platter. No, I knew that for 2 or 3 complete year he was struggling. Since third year, then final year, and even after final year, for 1 year he was struggling. He was looking. He was for his GRE, TOEFL, and then anyhow he got. And then when even the chance came for this admission, he didn't get admission for the engineering branch, but still no, he was very much determined to get anyhow go to US by at any cost. And then even that 2 years perseverance was there. Then he did quantum physics, then computer science, and I am sure that this quantum physics knowledge will be helping him now.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
knowledge is never a waste. People can think that okay, why I should do for quantum or this mechanics, or I'm not sure the branch, Amol, I'm sorry, but something related to physics or quantum mechanics or quantum physics, I remember.
So,
yeah, but absolutely. VLSI
So I
is
agree.
now quantum physics only. Chip
I
building
agree.
is all.
So one thing I would add is, today only actually we were having this talk with one of our leaders, and he had good explanation. He was asked what is the best advice that he has gotten and what is the worst advice. So he said the best advice is like you can achieve anything almost if you kind of have grit and you decide that you want to achieve it. And the worst advice is this is what it is and you have to live with it. That's the worst advice.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get kind of a tunnel vision and say that okay, I really don't have escape from what I'm doing right now. So don't think that there are going to be times sometimes that you
Yes.
feel that okay, the things are not going your way, but in long run, if you persevere, the things will happen. Yeah,
Exactly, that's what I want to say, because yes.
and I would say this is the greatest time of your life. Feel free to ask a lot of questions, give trouble to your professors.
And
This is
one
the
more
time
thing,
that you should learn a whole lot. Yeah, as much possible as that you can really.
and
Yeah.
again one more thing to hope is like now I have been inspired by Amol to maybe go for masters, because initially I was aspiring for a job, but later on, and to all the students, Amol is now in Microsoft. He has got 6 patents, but at one point of time when we were together, he was very reluctant to study. Sometimes
Yeah, absolutely.
his motto of engineering was just I want to anyhow clear the exam. I was the topper, and he used to just he was so intelligent that he knew what to write in paper, and he knew how I am going to get out of this thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
but
didn't write. Yeah, he didn't write a
yes.
single statement during his classes. I doubt whether he had a notebook or what. He didn't.
No.
He might not.
But what these students, they should actually, what I want to tell them is that see, be clear in your visions. First of all, you plan your life right now when you are in third year or final year na, you should have some aspiration. That aspiration may come true or may not come true. That like I had, everyone has. So be clear with that, because now the media and mobile phones and all lots of distractions and lots of other reasons, so that may not work in. And as now our life and age is progressing, we have different priorities. But at your point, you are now building your careers. So be clear with that. You say that okay, I don't want to code or I don't want to write program, but are you clear with the fundamentals? This is the problem. See, Amol, you can say that okay, I don't want to study, but are you clear with fundamental? Are your whatever this path and milestone about your life expectations are clear? This is a person who is in front of you, that I know that these things were quite clear, and he was heavily focused on that. So you friends, you plan accordingly, and then whatever in your fate, your providence, that will give you. But hard work and planning is now what is in your hand at right this moment. So accordingly act. I will say that.
Yeah,
Don't-
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
thank
well
you. Thank you
Yeah,
all.
thank you,
Yeah, well said.
Amol.
Yeah.
Amol,
Yeah, thank you very
on
much.
behalf of Electronics Department, I sincerely and wholeheartedly thank you for
Yeah,
just
thank you
sparing
very
your
much.
time. You might
Oh,
be
no.
too busy,
It
Amol.
was wonderful. It was
You are so
wonderful
down
talking
to
to
earth.
you.
Truly, you're so down to earth. I mean, someone with 20 patents, Amol, your achievement is mind blowing, and such a down to earth person you are. I thank you from
Thank you very
Finolex
much.
and from the
Thank
department,
you.
Amol.
Yeah.
And Bharadi sir, you just spoke out
Yes.
spontaneously from your heart. It's just because your friend, you could remember the memories. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
yes.
Varadi sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes.
Amol, it is
Yeah,
pleasure
thank you.
hearing you, Amol.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank
Bye,
you,
bye.
Vidya sir. Thank you, Vartak sir. Thank you, one and all students, for joining. And a takeaway from this is have a milestone, work towards it, and be determined. Right? So thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Amol.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, Varadi sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, bye. Bye.
Thank you. Hi.